Hi, sir, viewers of Equinoxe Television, 6 p.m. at 6 o'clock this Friday. It's time for the news. Thank you so much for joining us. Our major stories right away. Militants of the CRM political party make last-minute preparations ahead of the national convention in the nation's political capital, Yaoundé. In this edition of the news, the Secretary General of the party will be telling us more about the stakes of the come together, which begins tomorrow in Yaoundé. And the neighborhood of Briqueterie in Yaoundé has been infested or invaded by bedbugs. The entire population is totally confused, and health authorities today began disinfecting the entire Briqueterie neighborhood in Yaoundé. Viewers, those are our major stories. Details when we come back. Welcome back, viewers. Thank you so much for the confidence. We begin this edition of the news in Yaoundé. Inhabitants of the Briqueterie neighborhood in the nation's political capital are sending, or they have been sending, distress calls to the local authorities, especially those of health, as they are being attacked by bedbugs. Residents say even though it is usual for them, somehow it is the first time that almost an entire neighborhood is being infested by those insects. Let's now have more with Semantic and Gabriel.
This infection has begun in the Briqueterie neighborhood of Yaoundé after the inhabitants complained about the increasing numbers of bed bugs in their vicinity. In almost every home that you enter, you will meet bed bugs. Sometimes, while sitting outside with friends, you will notice them moving on your body. They are not only in the house. At the mosque and worship areas, we have them everywhere. Bed bugs are dangerous to the health of humans due to their capabilities of reproducing fast. The residents say the phenomenon is not strange to them, but the increase in their numbers is disturbing. They blame it on the importation of chemical products to the neighborhood, which is a business hub in Yaoundé. Maybe it's because of the arrival of second-handed goods like mattresses, which comes from other countries, because in every house you will see these bed bugs. Held hostage by the bed bugs, the residents of the Briqueterie neighborhood in Yaoundé are calling for government intervention. In our different mosques, we have contributed money to send them away, but maybe after 1 month, we won't feel their presence. 2 or 3 months later, it will resurface. We call on the public health minister to intervene. With the launch of the disinfection campaign, residents of Briqueterie are hoping to have quiet days ahead.
Sad indeed, bedbugs are very dangerous insects. Still in health, 7 candidates are seeking a 3-year term to replace Dr. Guy Sanjong, who is the outgoing president of the Cameroon Medical Council. Coming up next, our reporter Immaculate Fogwe profiles the 7 candidates while telling us more about their different manifesto.
After several months of suspense due to internal wrangling, a new date has been scheduled for the holding of the elective General Assembly at the Cameroon Medical Council. On December 9th, about 2,800 medical doctors will converge in Yaoundé to elect the new president. 7 medical doctors will be vying for the position, and they include Dr. Olga Yvonne Basso. She is the lone woman among the candidates. The medical doctor, public health consultant, associate professor of epidemiology and clinical biology expresses her determination of rekindling the medical corps by restoring its dignity. The next candidate is Dr. Rudolph Fonkwa. He is a director of the EDMed Polyclinic in Douala. He has his ambition to create a permanent information unit for young doctors. He also plans creating a fund that will be able to grant loans to young doctors who want to set up health structures. Dr. Pierre-Yves Basson is the youngest candidate vying for the position. The neurologist and lecturer at the Faculty of Science at the University of Bamenda professes his determination to build a passionate and fulfilling medical corps. Another candidate vying for the position is Dr. Manga Tiodat, who is an ophthalmologist and president of the Cameroon Society of Ophthalmology. He plans bringing order in the council and also fighting high unemployment and poverty. The next on the list is Professor Manuel Noel Esomba, the current director of the Douala Lakentini Hospital. He says if elected, he plans facilitating the integration of medical doctors into the job market. Dr. Claude Bernard Kamta is a neurosurgeon at the Douala General. And now, the last but not the least is Dr. Jean Betholet Zambo, who is a surgeon. He plans restoring the deontology and ethics of the medical profession. The Cameroon Medical Council is an institution which is in charge of regulating the medical profession.
And now we talk politics. Thousands of militants, supporters and sympathizers of the Cameroon Renaissance Movement political party are streaming into Yaoundé for the party's national convention, which starts tomorrow at the Yaoundé Conference Center. We sought to find out from the CRM Secretary General, Barrister Don Christopher, what the stakes of the convention are. The answer to this question are compiled in this report by Babila Jonathan.
The election of officials who will lead the Cameroon Renaissance Movement CRM political party for the next 5 years is the main stake of the party's national convention. As thousands of militants converge on the Yaoundé Conference Center Saturday, they are called to elect or re-elect leaders at different levels of leadership of the party.
Our party convention needs to do an election of the National Bureau, the Women's Bureau, and the Youth Bureau. We have only 8 members to form the National Bureau. That is the National President himself, the 5 Vice Presidents, the Secretary General, and the Treasurer.
Everything being equal, Professor Maurice Kamto is likely to be re-elected as National President of the party. He has been leading the party since creation in 2012.
Even if the election remains with one candidate, like that of Professor Maurice Kamto, who is seeking for re-election, we shall still vote. I am standing for re-election because this will be the last mandate for me.
Militants and officials of the party sentenced to different prison terms and detained have also been given the possibility to stand for election or re-election. Sentenced in absentia, women leader Awasu Mispa and detained treasurer Professor Alain Fogue are among those who want to be re-elected at their respective positions of responsibility.
Those who are in prison have a right. They still maintain their civil right.
The convention, initially scheduled to start in the early part of the day, has been shifted to 7 p.m. due to the closing ceremonies of the November session of the lower and upper houses of Parliament in the same premises.
In other news, we take you to the west region of the country, precisely in the Nous division, where coffee farmers have been expressing worries on the scarcity of products used in the cultivation of coffee. The farmers were speaking during the 15th edition of the Coffee Festival, which took place recently in Kutaba. Our reporter, Lucy Liengu, is here. Tells us more.
Rich in agricultural products, Kutaba, a subdivision in the West region, has seen a drop in its production of coffee beans. This, according to coffee farmers, is as a result of lack of products used in the cultivation of coffee.
Nous essayons de bousculer de part et d'autre par manque d'engrais et de science.
Coffee farmers who for the past years have been into coffee production to earn a living complain of facing difficulties. We started this little business of coffee even before our parents died, but today with the scarcity of products we can't cope. On the occasion of the 15th edition of the Coffee Festival in the Nous division, which is celebrated each year in November, Mayor Patricia Ndam-Joya, head of the Nous Agro-Industrial Cooperative, urged the farmers to improve on coffee production despite the challenges. With time, demand will be greater than supply. The more reason why we ask producers to be committed. Meantime, experts reminded producers involved in the Arabica coffee chain of the position which Cameroon has as one of the major producers of coffee in Africa, and thus producing quality coffee beans is important.
This is really something, a good initiative, because if you look how much Cameroon is importing, all kind of things, but especially also coffee, something which is important, especially also in a certain level. So we are at 2,200 meters and 1,200 meters.
The visiting delegation of collaborators from Europe, together with the mayor and some farmers, made a tour to some nursery farms, but coffee farmers say they expect assistance from the government in order to improve their yields.
And now we take you out of our national frontiers. 2 months after the start of the conflict between Israel and Hamas, the death toll continues to rise. The UN Secretary General invoked Article 99 to mount pressure on the Council Charter. Our reporter Cedric Chakuto gives us a resume somehow of the conflict since its beginning.
7 to December 7 this year, it's been exactly 2 months that Hamas launched a surprise attack on Israel, leading to an Israeli military offensive in the Gaza Strip. A conflict that led to the death of more than 15,000 Palestinians and the release of about 10 Israelis who were captured. The fighting resumed last Friday after a 7-day truce. Ground offensives were carried out not only in the north of Gaza. Again, France, USA and Egypt all came with humanitarian aid and peaceful speeches so as to end the conflict between Hamas and Israel. Furthermore, the Israeli army revealed that its forces had advanced towards the center of Khan Yunis, a key town in the southern Gaza Strip. Gaza authorities say the death toll in the enclave since fighting began stands at 16,248 and 1,240 deaths have been confirmed since fighting resumed. For now, UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres invoked Article 99 of the UN Charter to pressure the Security Council to call for a humanitarian ceasefire in Gaza. According to UN spokesman Stefan Dujarric, it is the first time that the Secretary General uses the item for the first time since taking office in January 2017. The article states that the Secretary General may bring to the attention of the Security Council any matter which, in his opinion, may threaten the maintenance of international peace and security. For the moment, UN diplomatic sources say the Security Council will hold an emergency meeting and its members are expected to vote on a new resolution.
And now we just got information that the UN Secretary General is presently reacting at this moment with regards to the fightings in the Gaza Strip, which has cost the lives of thousands of people. Sure, we will be coming to those reactions in our subsequent newscast. Meantime, in Burkina Faso, French has been removed from the official, as an official language. Local indigenous languages had been made official and considered as working languages, while in the DRC, tension has risen as preparation for the presidential and parliamentary elections heightened in that country. Mara Glory with our foreign page roundup.
The Burkinabe government on Wednesday adopted a bill revisiting the constitution and also taking away French as an official language in the country. The report signed by Council of Ministers specifies that the bill is a part of the realization of one of the main missions of the transition, which consists of initiating political, administrative and institutional reforms to strengthen the culture democratically and consolidate the rule of law. Among the major innovations of this new text is the establishment of a national language as official languages in place of French. And national languages becomes the working language in the country. Since Captain Traoré came to power, Burkina Faso has moved away from France, a former colonial power and a historic partner, while moving closer to Moscow. And elsewhere in the Democratic Republic of Congo, where tensions are rising in the country as preparations for presidential and parliamentary elections heighten, while authorities also struggle to contain myriad armed groups causing havoc in the mineral-rich east of the country. As election day approaches on December 20th, government-aligned forces are battling the M23 group, which the United Nations experts claim it's backed by Rwanda. Widespread insecurity has left more than 1 million without voter cards. The African Union and the influential Catholic Church cast doubt on the result of the last poll in 2018, which saw the incumbent Felix Tshisekedi emerge victorious over civil society favorite Martin Fayulu. Now, as the country once again prepares to vote, critics claim the president has the Independent National Electoral Commission in his favor.
In sports, Dynamo FC and Lesask of Douala will clash in a littoral derby as the Elite One League gets into the 11th day of play this weekend. The fate of Young Sports Academy is not known yet as the Yellow Submarine of Nkwen are threatening to quit the league. Smart Jikan Gabriel has our weekend sports package.
Matches counting for match day 11 of the Elite One Championship comes up this weekend. Eyes will be focused at the Mbuda Stadium, where Young Sports Academy is expected to tackle Apaches of Mfu. The Bamenda-based team had written letters to the Prime Minister's office, Fekafoot, and the committee controlling the Elite One Championship, saying they will withdraw from the league if access is not granted to them to use their field, which has always been useful to the fans. It is the first time since the start of the season that the two Bamenda-based clubs, PWD and Yosa, will play outside. Another thrilling encounter will be at the Centenary Stadium in Limbe. Victoria United, alias One People One Power, will be hosting Cotton Sport of Garwa on match day 2 at the Rumdaja Stadium. Opopo lost to Cotton Sport, no goal to 1. On the continent, Andre Onana is the lone Cameroonian flag bearer at the CAF Awards ceremony. The Cameroonian keeper has been retained in the final 3 of the best goalkeeper of the year. Andre Onana will battle the title alongside World Cup semi-finalist goalkeeper of Morocco, Yassine Bounou, and Mohamed El Shanawi of Egypt. The best player of Africa will be a battle between Mohamed Salah of Egypt, Ashraf Hakimi of Morocco, and Nigeria's Victor Osimhen. The CAF Awards comes up on December 11, 2023. In handball, Cameroon's women's handball team will take on Croatia in their second match of the main round of the 26th IHF Women's World Championship this weekend. In their first game, Cameroon succumbed to one of the host nations, Sweden, by 13 to 37 points. Sweden, Denmark, and Norway are the hosts of the tournament.
Thank you, Smart. Sad Reports brings us to the end of the first part of the news. Don't go away, Talking Points comes up next. Welcome back, viewers. Today we are coming back to the Ngon Festival of the Nous division of the West Region, the Bamum community, which has been recognized as a UNESCO World Cultural Heritage. We will be coming back to what it represents and the significance and why we should be able to uphold our cultural values and also our traditions in Africa, especially in Cameroon. And our guest tonight is a culturalist. He is time for me, Franca Samuel. Time for me, thank you so much for accepting to be our guest today. On Talking Points, we are talking culture and tradition. Recently, I just mentioned that the Ngon Festival of the Bamum people was recognized as a UNESCO Cultural Heritage. It's the first time a tradition in Cameroon is recognized. As an African, what's your impression? Do you feel proud?
In reality, it is a nice thing talking to you, Anabila, for this program, because it has been long that the Ngon has been being done in Cameroon for quite a long time, and due to the fact that they have decided to make some fundings and make sure that they take a different look, is a great thing. It shows how Cameroon is worldwide recognized of all the African and in nature. People from all around the world come around to get the taste of culture, and you know, it's something that has been quite long, and this generation doesn't hesitate taking the descendants of the culture and project it worldwide. So it was a very nice thing happening in our area, in our country. I feel so proud. I feel so proud. Why? Because the culture and the religion of Africa is a culture. It's a big culture. You know, I begin to feel that we are projecting our own. If we don't talk our own, who will do it for us? Nobody will do it. So we are the one to project ourselves so that the whole world should see us. So I'm very, very proud.
And now, for me, from the way you are dressed, one can easily tell that you are for the preservation of your Africanity or African cultures and traditions. What, according to you, are some of the necessities of upholding our traditional values as Africans?
Kuda has been bringing people together, revamping their branches, making sure that they pass the message to all people so that they come together, learn the tradition, learn the language, learn the culture, do it, emphasize and projecting our own so that the younger generation should take it. It is a pity that since the young ones don't stay back at home, there's rural exodus. People go out of the village earlier in such a way that when they go, they put to bed, their children grew in cities and they're unable to speak the language. So during the Wikuda and the Mbom people that unite, all these values are being projected. People that speak the language, people that prepare meals, the traditional meals, people that dance, the traditional dances, and the people that make sure that the dressing of the Wimbom people is quite projected. The way you have to dress, the way you have to put the caps, because even the caps, there are different caps in the tradition of the Wimbo people and the culture of the Wimbo people. There are certain caps that not anybody put it, but if you put it, you'll be fined or you'll be taken to the palace because you have trampled on the law. The traditional and cultural institutions are there to look so much so that nobody tramples on the traditions of the people. Mostly, there are things that you cannot get. You cannot get the phone without a cap on your head. You cannot sit when the phone is around. You cross your leg. Those type of things, those ethics, those cultural ethics, they teach our people before you are awarded a title of a notable. They first of all school you. They first of all sensitize you and tell you that this is what you can do and this is what you can't do. And where you are, you represent the phone. You are like the voice of the phone and the voice of the people. You must be a model, you must be a role model in the society.
Okay, so I'm sure you're already responding to this question somehow in your previous answer. We have the impression that recently our cultures and traditions are disappearing. People no longer speak their mother tongues because of, we say, intertribal marriages, going to the village and all of those. What does your community just mentioned, which is the Wimbom community, do to ensure that the tradition is not tampered with and greatly?
In reality, our phones are the first people of the village. They earmark the first image of the village. So, as a phone, you don't have to show where you belong. Even you are working with the government, you are working with the low class, you are working with everybody, you embrace everybody and you allow your palace open to everybody, not only the government. So what I'm saying here is this has made phones that tend to do things looking only but towards the government. It's not right. They have to embrace everybody, make sure that working with the government, explain why it is necessary working with the government and working with the low class and working with everybody around him, because he is there to protect the culture of the people. He's not there to project government. He's there to project the culture, the tradition and culture of the people and the institutions of the people that kept him there. The traditional institutions are being catered by our phones. So even if they're doing what, they should first of all respect the traditional and cultural norms.
You're going so fast there, for me. They were reacting on the impression about government interference in our cultural and traditional milieu to an extent of imposing chiefs sometimes on villages or villagers and their negative effects, so to speak. Now let's come back to the question, what your community does to ensure that someday your own traditional or your culture can be recognized just like that of the Bamun people, which is the Ngun.
Our traditional values are so diverse. You know, like I'm saying that in Cameroon we have more than 250 ethnic groups, and that is the diversity of the culture, and that is what is making us proud. The dressing, first of all, speaks for itself. It identifies you as the son and soil of a given particular ethnic group. You know, like the Bamuns, they have their own ways of dressing. You have the Bamenda people, they know have their own way of dressing. The Bamilikes, the Sawas, the Yaoundés, the Bakweres, there are different ways of dressing. When somebody dresses or the way he does his or her things, you understand that this person is from this area and this is the type of culture the person is projecting. Saying the General President, Apostle Fogwe Rogers, we have a meeting tomorrow, Saturday, on the 9th of December here in Douala at Bayaville Hotel. No, it's not making advertisement at the UCB, whereas all the sons and daughters of Mbomland that are around the world will come there for a meeting to revamp, look into certain situations and see how we can project our own. You know, we have been behind. Why? Because we embrace other people's culture and leaving us behind, and that is not good. We look forward of doing better things in the days ahead. And tomorrow, the program is so tight, and everybody is invited.
Thank you, Tam, for me, Franca Samuel, for accepting to be our guest on Talking Point tonight. Let's together continue to uphold our traditions and cultures, our Africanity, so to speak. Thank you again for accepting to be our guest on Talking Point tonight. And viewers, thank you so much for being with us. Don't go away. Our programs continue. Equinoxe in about 30 minutes with Serge Alengutu and Julien Besbissa would be here in the studio. That would be at 8 p.m. for the news in the French language. Stay with us on Equinoxe Television and enjoy the rest of your weekend in the company of our programs. Bye-bye for now.